Thank you very much, Carl, Mr. Toastmaster. Dear fellow Toastmasters, as Carl already mentioned, I'm requested to talk about conflict resolution. It's a bit odd, the task, because there are libraries filled with books about conflict resolution. And how can I present in 5 to 7 minutes something that is not artificially comprehensive, but at the same time, utterly useless? So I decided to focus just on one single thing. One element of conflict resolution that is part of each and every conflict, and that is listening. I can imagine what some of you might think now. Well, here we have another talk about active listening. So, of course, we have to be attentive. We have to wait before the speaker finishes, before we can phrase our answer, and we have to rephrase what the speaker said to make sure we understood it. Ja, di da, di da. No, today I will do something different. I will introduce you to the 4x4 communication. So I hope you can see my screen, but I assume it is the case. So 4x4 communication, or as it was titled originally by the inventor Friedemann von Thun, Schulz von Thun, and as you can imagine, he is German, and he called it the Kommunikationsquadrat, the square of communication. And as he is German, please bear with me when I use some German words in the next slide, but don't worry, it won't be too arduous. If it works, we also get to the next slide, and here we go. So the Kommunikationsquadrat. I will check you later on about your writing of German words, but first we continue with the oral test here. We start on the very left where we have the sender. And the sender has 4 beaks, so 4 mouths, you might say. On the right hand, we have the Empfänger, the receiver, and she has 4 ears. And in the middle, right between them, there's the expression, the message. And as the square has 4 sides, the message also has 4 different layers. We start on top, the blue one, it's the Sachinhalt, the content of the speech, so the facts. The green side on the left, going counterclockwise, it's the Selbstkundgabe, also a funny Scrabble word. Selbstkundgabe means something like self-disclosure. So what does the message tell us about the sender? Beziehungshinweis on the bottom can be loosely translated as relationship. So what does the message that the sender sends out tell us about the relationship, or how the sender perceives the relationship to the recipient? And finally, on the right side in red, the appel or appeal. What does the sender want to achieve with the message? How does the sender want to influence the thinking or the behavior of the receiver? So because all theory is gray, let's take an example. One example that probably most of you have already experienced. Just imagine you and your significant other sit in the car, your partner is driving, you are in the passenger seat, and you approach a traffic light. And you say, "It's green." We all know the situation, we all love the situation. And even though it's a very short sentence, it is green. This sentence contains also 4 layers. The content, the first layer. Of course, the traffic light is green. It's not red, it's not yellow, it's not broken. No, it is green. The second level, the self-disclosure. I'm in a rush, I want to hurry, don't stop the car. That's of course the obvious one, but also it contains other information like I'm not colorblind, I pay attention to the road, and much, much more. So we continue now to the third layer, the Beziehungshinweis, relationship. Without my help, you cannot drive properly. And I need you to tell you for us to safely reach our destination. But it also contains other information. It tells that I perceive myself to be in a position to tell you what to do. And finally, the appeal, quite straightforward, go ahead. But it's not only the sender who has the 4 beaks and who communicates on 4 layers, it's also the receiver with the 4 ears. Just take another example. A father tells his daughter to put on a jacket. And for the receiver, the daughter, the message is being conveyed in 4 different ways. Level 1, the Sachinhalt, the content. It seems to be cold outside, so it's advisable to put on a jacket. The second level, the Selbstkundgabe, that it would rather be
No, no, no. You're muted. You're muted.
but at least I'm still back. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Just a second, I'm gonna share my screen. We were at, okay, here we go. I hope it's working. Yeah, should be. We were at the self-disclosure in the case where the father tells his daughter to put on a jacket. So my father cares about me. He doesn't want me to catch a cold. But also he's under the impression that he can tell me what to do, that I'm helpless without his support. And the relationship level, it's, sorry, what I just said pertains to the relationship level, that the father is under the impression that he can tell his daughter what to do. Without his help, his guidance, she would be helpless. And finally, the appeal, put the jacket. Now, the problem in each conversation occurs, and you might even not say problem, but the conflict arises when there's a mismatch, when the two sides communicate on different layers. For example, if the father intended to communicate on the self-disclosure level, I care for you, and the daughter perceives the message on the relationship level, she might not be overly fond to be treated like a baby, to be told what to do. And so the response, even though she might internally acknowledge that it's cold outside, she might nonetheless say, no, it's not cold, I'm not gonna put on a jacket. So these short examples just show how important it is to be aware of the differences where a message can be sent and how it can be perceived. Of course, this is no magic potion that will automatically solve all conflicts. Conflicts are still arduous, but nonetheless, knowing about the different levels helps you to realize where a conflict might occur, and also helps you solving a conflict. So I hope the next time you reach the traffic light, which is green, that you remember these 4 layers. Mr. Toastmaster.